that is to speak to you on the latest trends in both commerce and management education. Putting together commerce and management, we call it business education. Business education is under tremendous change these days because of the changes that are happening everywhere. Unless we, the teachers concerned with preparing the future executives who are supposed to occupy greater positions in the business organizations, to understand the realities and to equip ourselves and impart the same to the students, they will be nowhere. Because call it by any name, the commerce education is ultimately aiming at preparing the prospective managers, prospective economic leaders. In order to make them prospective economic leaders and the managers, we are offering the courses like BCom, MCom, BBA, BBM, MBA, company secretaryship, chartered accountancy, cost and financial works, cost accounting, management accounting specialists, and even these days we are thinking in terms of offering courses related to online marketing, digital marketing, and computer-oriented business applications to our graduates. With all this, our aim is to make them a saleable graduates, employable graduates on the one side. On the other side, to make them competent to work as executives, leaders, to take the responsibility of managing organizations. Today's organizations, you will be knowing, they are very big in size on the one side. On the other side, they are highly capital intensive and multinational in nature. The huge capital that we have invested and the multinational scope of the business in which we are living calls for extraordinary skill, extraordinary knowledge to be perfect with the realities. Otherwise, we will be nowhere. Therefore, many a time, the failure of business may be because of the failure of people who are there. There is a popular saying, the success or failure of any organization is because of the people there. That's the reason we call a country rich country and the poor country. A country becomes rich or poor because of the people there, not the resources or the property there. Even countries with a little resources and hardworking people can become rich. Poor countries can also become rich countries. Therefore, we are going to prepare the managers who are supposed to be the leaders of the industry and business. Therefore, we need to understand the realities at the first instance while framing the syllabus and the content for the courses, and at the second instance. Why I'm taking that at the second instance, at the first instance, everybody may not get an opportunity to be a part of syllabus framing bodies. Many a time, we the teachers are made to teach whatever has been fixed as the content in the course. But our responsibility does not end there itself. We have to think beyond the syllabi given to us, content prescribed for the course, and we have to take the responsibility of understanding the latest happenings and make our students to get it as and when it happens. Because the present day business is very high dynamic and at the same time changing very fast. Unless we pick up the speed and catch the trend, we will be nowhere. Therefore, how to catch this trend and how to equip ourselves and to change our pedagogy and approach of reaching out to the students is always with our understanding of the subject. Therefore, I will be making a very brief attempt to reach you with this topic, and I do also use some slides side by side. Wherever you feel like interacting, take the liberty, as I told you, we can deliberate with free mind of learning something new. Therefore, the topic that I have chosen today is on trends in trends in commerce and business. Can you see the slide now? Can you see the slide? Anybody can respond?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No.
I will make it.
Okay, sir.
Please respond to me once or twice. Can you see it now?
No, sir. Yes, sir. We can see.
Visible.
See it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It's
sir. Now
visible,
it's
sir.
visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Sir, it's green.
Sir, share. It's sharing, sir. Now. PPT is sharing, sir.
Yes.
Hearing, sir.
Please. As I was telling, the topic that I had chosen for the day is to explain on the latest trends in the field of commerce education. I titled my presentation as New Frontiers means the new limits, new area, new boundaries of commerce education. To start my presentation, you have taken a quote from Alvin Toffler. You will be knowing Alvin Toffler. Toffler is a very familiar name to all of us.
Yes, sir. Now it is appear, sir.
He is known for his popular, world popular book. Title of the book is? What's the title of his book? Anybody? Okay, please unmute somebody who is talking over that. Alvin Toffler's very popular book is Future Shocks. The title of the book is Future Shocks. Future Shocks means the future anticipated the future of the world, future of the business. When you speak about the future of the world, you will remember 16th century future predictor. Lot many things about the world happening. Likewise, Alvin Toffler in his book Future Shock had written that to help our future shock, we must create a super industrial educational system. And to do this, we must search for our objectives, methods in the future rather than the past. Education must shift into, see here, dear participants, someone is not unmuted. You unmute only when otherwise disturbs everybody. Okay, please. While you are talking to me, you can unmute and talk to me. Okay, we are not kids. You're all grown up, postgraduate and doctoral degree holders, and teaching the people of the same age. You will be knowing one of the problem of interacting with the type of students that we teach. Okay, they must be taught about present trends. Is the expected and unexpected changes in the reality. When the changes happen, if we are not prepared for these changes, that will lead to disasters, loss of business, loss of everything, maybe in the form of financial, physical, and psychological losses. To avoid this loss, what best we can do? Toffler has indicated that to avoid the future shocks, we must create a super educational system, because most of the problems of today's or any day's world can be solved through knowledge. Knowledge is the most powerful weapon for solving the problem, and we are in the knowledge generation and distribution industry. Academics, our education system can be called as knowledge generation system. Our job is to generate knowledge and to distribute the same to the society. Therefore, if we create an industrial system, educational system that prepares people to solve the problems of the unexpected changes, any society will not get into problem at all. But how to develop this knowledge-based or industry-based education system? You made a mention that. While talking about education and education system, we must search for its objectives in the future, not in the past. There is no point in saying that 100 years back we were like that, 1,000 years back we were like that, and in our Gurukula system, Nalanda universities was happening, this was like that. More than that, that should be the base. Keeping that as the base, we must look for the objectives in the future, because we have to live in the future, not in the past. To live in the future, we need to set our objectives for the education system in line with the anticipated future changes. Therefore, education must always be looked in terms of the future tense, not in the past tense. That is what Alvin Toffler made a mention in his book. As we are all in the education system, you need to remember what is education is all about. Okay, one second. I'm not getting. Okay, what is, can you see the slides?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Education system, particularly education is aiming at disseminating at the first instance general knowledge to people. That is called the knowledge part of it. Any education can be analyzed into three different components. First one is knowledge, second one is the skill, and the third one is the attitude. Through our education system, we must spread knowledge that is related to the present day. Knowledge never keeps stagnant, it keeps on changing, and unless we catch it at the appropriate time, we will become redundant. We are all living in a knowledge-based society, knowledge-based industry, knowledge-based business. That is on the one side. On the other side, education is also aiming at imparting skills. Skills are nothing but the ability of the individual to make use of the knowledge he has. Many people may be well educated, well read, they might have studied a lot, number of degrees, but they may not have the ability to make use of that knowledge to solve the problems. Therefore, skill is one's ability to solve the problems. Along with the skill, the third most important thing that education must disseminate is the attitude. Attitude, attitudes are the empathy, mental preparedness of an individual to rise to the occasion, to solve a problem, or to lead a life. Unless all these three, knowledge, attitude, and the skills are together, no education will become complete. Therefore, even in commerce education, we need to provide our students with the latest knowledge based on the happenings around us. Along with that, the skills required must also be given to them. And along with the skills, psychologically, they must be prepared to make use of the skill and knowledge for solving both business, personal, and the social problems. Because education is always designed in the light of the prevailing society and the society's requirements. It is the social requirements that molds the education system. Because what courses are in demand, what courses are having high scope, that depends on the social order where we are living. Keeping all these things in mind, some of the skills that we have learned and that we have been using have become outdated today. Many a time people say these courses have no scope and they don't get jobs, things like that. But some of the courses, that we have designed are matching with the expectations of the society's requirements, and the society appreciates, only such courses will become popular and survive. These days, you will be knowing in any university, in toto, about 40% of the students in the conventional courses happens to be commerce graduates. 40% of the graduates happens to be commerce graduates. And the total strength of the students in most of the universities, let it be in management courses, let it be in commerce, accounting, interior design, auditing, e-commerce, banking, insurance, call it by any name, they happen to be management students only. Therefore, for these students, unless we devise the course content in such a way that they learn the latest skills, they will become redundant, jobless, and going to be unemployable. Keeping that in mind, very recently, a list of 10 most popular required skills for the future, that is up to 2025, has been listed by World Economic Forum. You will be knowing the present day education and the present day trainings must impart our students skills related to problem solving, self-management, working with the people, and use of technology. They have made a list of it. I will just run through the list just to remind you what type of skills are required for the present day graduates. It is not the theoretical knowledge or depth in theories that we speak for hours together inside the classes. What is required is the analytical thinking and ability to innovate. That is what analytical thinking and innovation is the most preferred skill among the students today. Followed by that, active learning and learning strategies. Active learning. You must make your people to go with an open mind to study the things and to understand the things with an open mind. If you don't know something, no problem. Say, I don't know, and pick it up from wherever it is available. That is the trend. We must be open in our learning. And one more thing is complex problem solving ability. Problems are everywhere. These problems are to be sorted out. Unless the new methods of problem solving are developed, no old techniques can help us to solve the new problems. Old medicines cannot be the panacea for the new diseases. That's what the entire world is experiencing now. New type of diseases are coming, but we have a kit of old medicines. That is not solving the problem. Followed by that, the skill required is critical thinking and analysis. Education is to make students to do critical thinking of anything and everything presented before them. Unless you make your students to think differently, critically analyze the situation, there is no meaning for that education. Can you follow me? But critical thinking and ability to analyze. Next thing is creativity, originality, and initiative in everything that they do. Followed by that, leadership and social influence. Leadership. As I told you, irrespective of the course that our management students and commerce students are doing, they are going to be the future managers of whatever scale. Maybe managing 10 people, 1 person, or 100 people, millions, no issues. They are going to be the future leaders. Unless you have the capacity to influence on others, you cannot be called an educated person in this field. Most important, another requirement of present day situation is use of technology. If you don't know how to use the technology, you will be nowhere. You will become redundant. In that score, I must appreciate all our teachers. All our teachers during this COVID situation, they proved their worth by showing the world that in no way we are inferior to anybody. Upskilling has happened among our teachers. Upskilling. Everybody speaks about upskilling and reskilling. We got ourselves reskilled to teach in front of a monitor rather than directly seeing our audience. And we rose to the occasion to use the online facilities for reaching out to our students. This is the best example for upskilling and reskilling that is required. Therefore, all teachers need to understand this in mind, our students are going to live with the machines in the future, not with human beings alone. Machine learning has become a very popular expression these days. Either to, we were preparing machines to support us, but in future, what's going to happen? Man must learn to support the machine. Unless we prepare ourselves to get adjusted with the machine, there will not be life. Therefore, use of technology is one of the most important things. Along with that, we must also rise to the occasion for designing the technology. Technology design and programming is one more important area. You cannot simply say that I'm using the technology given by somebody. We need to develop the technology. Say, for instance, softwares have been developed to assist us in the field of taxation, in the field of marketing, in the field of HR. HR is also technology-based, software-based today. Marketing is digital. Taxation, accounting has become very simple. Gone are the days we used to worry a lot about preparing accounts and understanding accounting subject. But today, for everything, there are software. But if you don't know that, learn that software, software will become hard for you. Followed by that, another important thing that we need to teach our student is resilience and stress tolerance, flexibility. Resilience, stress tolerance, and flexibility in life. These are the things that we must inculcate ourselves and also among the younger generations. Because there are 1,000 reasons every day to get disturbed. One certain thing that can happen to anybody is tension, pressure, stress, depression, frustration. These are the most likely happening things around us. But we must learn to live with that. We must learn to live with that. During the last 10 months or so, the world has undergone tremendous, unprecedented, unexpected trauma that made all of us to psychologically undergo a lot of changes. Such a situation will continue for future also. It will not end here itself. It is not the pandemic COVID-19 only. Even life has become very stressful. Business is highly competitive. Everybody has to struggle day in and day out. So that unless you have the capacity to tolerate all these humiliations, disturbance, insults, you will be nowhere. Keep your objective in mind, tolerate all these things. The strength of an individual today depends on his capacity to tolerate defeats. One's strength is not only in winning and celebrating the victory. Strength is in tolerating the defeats, because chances of losing are more than the chances of winning. Therefore, our course content, our teaching, and our personality building process inside the classroom must aim at making our students resilient to tolerate. Followed by this, another important thing that we must keep in mind is there is a need for developing large ability among our students in terms of reasoning, logical reasoning. Logical reasoning will lead to effective problem solving, because ultimately business leaders, call them by any name, management graduates or commerce graduates, their job is going to make decisions. The decisions are to be rational and they must be future goal oriented, acceptable to everybody. That can happen only when the decision maker is capable of analyzing the situation and arriving at a proper conclusion. That proper conclusion can happen only when you are logical, scientific in your thinking. Therefore, these are the skills that need to be used for the purpose of making our students ready for the future. As I was telling, management and commerce graduates need to work in business organizations or institutions in different capacities. But most of the time, the type of decisions they are expected to take revolves around what type of decisions they are supposed to make. It revolves around In simple words, what type of judgments, what type of conclusions they are supposed to make. Normally, the future of an organization depends on the decisions made by uh, the leaders whom we are preparing. These graduates are expected to make decisions related to, at the first instance, starting up of new ventures. What type of business can be started? What type of new ventures can be started? That is another important question that our students need to understand. Predicting the future demand for products, demand for business, the type of new organizations and new idea that comes to our mind will decide the fate. Therefore, the organization's ability depends on the imaginative capacity of the leaders, starting up of new ventures, adding new products. The greatness of a manager lies in adding new products to the existing list of products that the company is presently producing. You'll be knowing, out of 100 products newly developed, only 20% of the new products are going to survive. 80% will fail. When 80% fail, you must be resilient to sustain that pressure. Your employer may not allow you to be there comfortably. If you are the owner, your burden of indebtedness, loans, and loss of property may make you to become distressed. But new products must be added, otherwise the market will not appreciate. If you want to survive for a long time in any field, every now and then you have to come out with new offerings. New offerings. Business is always about offering what the market expects. Unless you understand the market, your offerings cannot be proper. Followed by that, handling competitors. The third important type of decisions that our graduates are going to take in any field, let it be in HR, marketing, finance, production, call it by any name. In any field, it is about handling competitors. We cannot imagine life without competition. There will be different types of competitors. Some are ethical, unethical, fair, unfair, cutthroat. All types of competitions need to be handled. For that, we need to equip our students, equip our people. Otherwise, they will lose the hope and run back from the business, get back from the business. Followed by that, these days, we are seeing great corporate mergers and acquisitions. Mergers, acquisitions are nothing but the corporate collaborations. Corporate collaborations have become inevitable today because no single company can do everything that the market expects, whether we like it or not. One time, enemies are friends, and the friends have become enemies across the globe for the sake of business. And we must equip our students to prepare for such a situation because they are forced to work in multicultural, cross-cultural organizations. Unless they are tuned mentally to get adjusted to all type of cultural shocks, they cannot sustain the pressure of the future business. It is not only understanding and adjusting to the changes. If it is needed, they must also become change agents. Change can happen only through people. It is not the other thing around us. Many a time we blame the system, we blame the environment for change, but the change happens mainly because of the people. People are the most powerful change agents. Therefore, when we wish to bring something new into the system, these are going to change. Industry has changed a lot. Life, education system with the new industrial policy, the education course content, delivery system, stakeholders, expectations, everything is going to change. So that to introduce and to manage the change, we must prepare our youngsters. But for this purpose, we the teachers in the commerce and management courses are experiencing certain contradicting situations. A sort of contradiction is before us. Many a time we cannot we cannot sustain this pressure of contradiction as there is a confusion as to what to do. What to do? What is that confusion? That confusion is about deciding about how to look at the situation. Say, for instance, I have listed half a dozen such confusions when we are inside the class to teach our students. The first one is a contradiction about considering our student either as a learner honestly sitting in front of us to learn, or as a paymaster, someone has paid for this as a customer. So that treating the student as student versus customer. If you consider him as a student, our objective is to make him to learn, make him to understand, make him to reproduce. But as a customer, what he expects from us is the result for some problem. So that our customers may be starting from our students, their employers, and the community. To make prepared students to face the real challenges of life, we must keep in mind not only the person sitting in front of us, but the future employers of these youngsters and the society from where they have come from. So that is a big burden on the teachers to realize all this. Otherwise, if you reach one, other one is going to be missed. Followed by this, in the process of teaching and delivering our lectures, what contradiction we encounter is there are already certain core potential and sustained content of this syllabus that we have been handling. They are the popular things. Commerce course, management course means we mainly focus on accounting, taxation, statistics, auditing, marketing, human resources management. There ends the matter. But believe me, all these things have become redundant. In the 10 most expected skills listed by the World Forum, these skills are not there. They are looking for something else. Unless we give that something else to our students will become unemployed graduates very shortly. Therefore, what to do? Shall we keep in mind the short-term requirements or the long-term understanding, knowledge, something in our mind? That is a contradiction that many a time disturbs our teachers. Followed by this, knowledge versus employability and employment. It was good with whatever I said so far. What do you expect? Ask your students, why are you doing this course? What made you to come for this course? The ultimate answer after several rounds of answering, is to get a job. If the present studies are not able to give him a job that can get him the bread and butter, it has no meaning. But job-oriented courses are more in demand. And as a result of that, our youngsters want to earn while they learn. In order to earn while they are learning, they look for courses of short term, not for long-term courses. Say, for instance, the new education policy is aiming at making a 4 years degree course or something like that. But 4 years is a very long period. In between, if you give lateral exit and lateral entry, I am of the doubt that many people will not reach out till the end. They may take a drop. They may quit the course in between with a certificate, with a diploma to search for a job. That is another possibility. Today's youngsters believe in speed. They want immediate, speedy solutions for everything. They don't have the patience to wait for 5 years, 6 years, things like that. If you devise such a course, such courses will become once again redundant. One more thing that you must keep in mind is, today there was a day where we were teaching a global general overview about business and everything. It is on the one side, you have to speak about what's happening in the globe, but not at the cost of forgetting the realities locally. Localization of business started happening with this pandemic and all. The trend is to localize the business. Those who succeed in the local market can only succeed in the global market. But either to what we were doing for one or the other reason, forgetting the local realities, we started talking about the global issues, global perspectives and things like that. which may not be of that significant in the immediate future. But in the long run, yes, global overview is essential. But in the short run, what is required is to find a solution for the problem locally, the problem with us in the domestic market. Problem at home must be solved. Unless you solve the problem at home and think of solving the problems of the space, it has no meaning. Followed by that, there is a contradiction between the pedagogy, the methodology of teaching commerce courses. Once upon a time, a teacher was an excellent teacher if he is capable of sharing his experience. Experience sharing was appreciated. That was the reason many a time we used to look for expert teachers. An expert teacher is one who have more experience. What is experience? You will be knowing technically. Experience means technically the mistakes committed in the past, right? For the mistakes committed in the past, one will be called a great person or an expert. But today, that nobody likes. What the people like the most is to give an opportunity for them, the learner himself, to do it hands-on, to do it on his own. That's the reason practicals have become very important. Laboratory works have become very important. Even for commerce and management courses, we need to set up labs wherever it is possible. We need to make our students to work on their own instead of spoon feeding, give them an opportunity or create an opportunity if there is no opportunity to make them to work on their own. By doing so, you may become an unpopular teacher, but they will realize its importance after some time when they go to the field. That is another thing that we must keep in mind while talking about management courses. Why I'm telling all this is because the business situation across the globe has changed. The business situation across the globe has changed today. Okay. What are the trends? What are the trends that you can see in today's business? Today, business and technology are fused into one system. Hence, we are in a technology-based business environment. If you are poor in technology, are not ready to accept technology, you will be nowhere. You will be nowhere. Therefore, technology has become the order of the day. Unless you yourself equip with the happenings in terms of technology and able to make use of that for your day-to-day usage, you will be nowhere. And today's technology, particularly computer itself was a great thing for our generation people. But today, computer is just literacy. We speak in terms of softwares and solutions like artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, robotics, data mining, virtual reality. These are the expressions that have become popular today. We must be able to make use of this. And as a result of using this, once again, some of us may become competent to influence on others. Some of us may prepare our youngsters to face the future challenges. But believe me, at the same time, the technology itself will create a lot of problems for the business and the world. Say, for instance, the media and media advancement is both advantageous and at the same time a threat to day-to-day activities of business and life. There is honest media that is telling the reality, and at the same time, there are media that are using this technology and demonstrating false information with the help of concocted, morphed presentations. Even pictures have been faked. Today there is an article in Hindu. I wanted to make use of that word. It is about deep fakes. Deep fake. Deep fake means constructing a picture, constructing a situation that appears to be so realistic and practical, which makes the people to believe. That can happen even for business. Our products, our services, our achievements, our profit and loss account presentations, public interactions can also be faked, can also be wrongly interpreted with the help of technology. Therefore, unless you are capable of understanding this and using this in an ethical way, that itself will become a problem. Followed by that, the other new trend in the field of business is new business models are emerging. The new business models that are emerging, you will be knowing, requires innovation. Innovation. What are the new business models? Either we were talking about joint ventures, collaborations, mergers, acquisitions, and all. Global and multinational and cross-cultural organizations, even I made a mention. But after this COVID, after this COVID experience all over the world, what's happening is more than global perspective of business and the big corporates coming together, family-owned business, family-owned organizations, and family principled administration. I'm using the word family principle means small business houses with a karta as the head of the business. What we thought as the conventional one, that type of leadership started happening every time. So that there is a clash between this multinational, cross-cultural, joint ventures, collaborations on the one side, on the other side, localized, family-owned approach to business. So that we must prepare our students to get adjusted to both. If they are good in one, definitely they can follow the other. But the first one is to make them confident at the individual level, family level, family business, small business. Okay, that type of situation is emerging. And followed by that, it is there since centuries. Customer-oriented business, consumer-oriented situation. In the marketplace, it is the consumer who is the king. Customer sovereignty or consumer sovereignty means produce the product that the customer expects. The customer is highly demanding. Customer is always expecting something new. Unless you give that something new to him, you will be nowhere. How to understand this? You need to have extraordinary skill to predict, to forecast the future expectations of the market in which you are. Because customer is the custodian of any business. Whatever he expects is always right. We can survive as long as we make him happy. The $1 million question is, what makes him happy? What makes him happy today may not hold good for tomorrow. So that we must keep changing. We must keep change ourselves as he changes his expectations. That is another trend that we need to understand. One more trend, it is related to logistics and supply chain. The present day customers are ready to spend any money for better services. So that every company is using the strategy of reaching out to customer anywhere, everywhere, at every time. Every time, everywhere and anywhere, you must be ready to serve the customer. Right? Customer is the king and he has the capacity to pay for that. He can be anywhere. Your students can be sitting somewhere, but with the help of their iPhone, they are watching you delivering a lecture. You must be ready to reach out to them there itself. Otherwise, there is no business for you. Likewise, every company thinks in terms of reaching out to the customer with the help of improved, logistics and supply chain system that will make the present day business very competent. Keeping that in mind, when we manage the business, what should be the priority of the present day business managers? Priorities. Priorities means what to concentrate in business. At the first instance, the first and the most important priority of any business leader today is to manage the workforce well. Workforce well-being is the first and the most important job that the managers have to do, because it is not the robots, it is not the machines that ultimately matters. It is the people, and the people are the hard one, difficult one to handle. Therefore, it is the physical and the emotional well-being of the people that has become very important. We must teach our students, along with the technology, how to handle people, how to be with people. That is of paramount importance. And one more thing, working from remote places has become common. Work from home, in other words, in simple words, work from home. Remote work will become the rule of many jobs today. There is no exception. Everybody, all sorts of jobs can be done these days online. So that manager is in one place, worker is in one place, products will reach another place. Therefore, you must have the remote control with you, not with the help of a gadget, but with loyalty of your employees. Unless you make your workers loyal to you and make them to work for you, you cannot reach out all the time that you expect. Followed by that, it is firms will compete for customers based on the quality of the remote workers support. You will reach out to the customer's happiness again depends on your workers. Your workers are away from you, they are working from some other place, and their output will reach some other customer sitting in some other place. And your job is to manage both the customers and the employees in one go. That is a big challenge for any marketing or any manager of any type, let it be finance, HR, whatever it is. Followed by that, agile teams will operate in many geographies. Rarely, they cannot sit in any single place. Agile teams means teams that are ready to work, eager to work. Put them in a desert. If they are goal-minded, if they are adventurous, they will do something. The job of a manager today is to prepare such agile teams. Team management has become a very challenging task today. So that leadership qualities, socializing skills, communication skills, impression management. These are the popular things that have become very essential these days. The supply chain system, digital mode of handling products has become the order of the day that we must chart out. The supply chain management with the help of the digital mode of order taking, order processing, and delivering need to be addressed. That will become an important issue to teach inside the class than simply taking them to a theories and making examination to award them marks. Followed by this, new leadership skills will be required because the world has become virtual. We are supposed to handle the virtual workforce. A virtual leadership, it is nothing but the emotional attachment, confidence, and the loyalty that we can build on our people, which can make them to work for us. These are the things that has become very essential these days for any businessman. But it is a fact that business has a wider application. We cannot say that by selling our products in the local market, we can achieve everything we set as objectives for our business. The new situation in business calls for us to understand again the realities. The reality is that presently there is a lot of geopolitical realignments happening among big corporations. Big companies across the globe getting into political and business alignments. As a result of that, we are also experiencing a global and violent extremism. People have become highly extremists in their approach. They can go to any level to achieve their objectives. Sometimes even unethical, unfair practices have become very common these days. Even the technology is misused for cheating both the investors, customers, and the fellow partners. Therefore, we need to give caution and equip our people to be ready with something to protect them, something to protect them. And at the same time, there is a new resources slump happening everywhere. Resources are scarce already, needless to elaborate, but all types of resources have become very rigid in the supply. We need to make use of the resources in its best form. Climate change. Climate change is one more important thing that we need to inculcate into our syllabus. We must educate people to save the earth, to save the environment. That could be the reason these days there is a stress on introducing one more new subject for our management and commerce students about sustainable development. Sustainable development and sustainable development goals are to be taught to our students in our course content. That is to make them understand the significance of global climate change. And more than anything, when we make our graduates to go out of our colleges and schools, we must see that they are the good all-rounders. You cannot say he is good in accounting, not good in marketing, good in HR, not that good in finance. We must make them all-rounders. We are not confident where they are going to end up. So that let us frame the syllabus in such a way that let them take up some specialization and call themselves as specialists in one area. But ultimately, who succeeds in business is one who has the worldly wiseness. Worldly wise people can only survive, not the experts or scholars all the time. Particularly commerce education is to make them performers, doers. To make them doers and performers, we need to give them all sorts of knowledge and skill-oriented information that equip them to be comfortable in doing business in this changing world order. Followed by that, ICT and virtual systems have become common. There is no substitute for this today. Technology has taken everything into its control. And unless we take the technology into our hands, technology will start controlling us. Followed by that, increasing cyber insecurity. As the use of technology and internet-based activities have become more, cyber crimes are also on the increase. Not many unexpected, unanticipated form of cheating, exploitation is happening on the net. That we must keep in mind while preparing the future users of this technology. New power style, yes, no doubt. This is always emphasized. From the beginning, I am telling what is very important is to prepare them, not only in terms of technological skills or the skills to prepare accounts or tax sheets or something like that, make them to have proper attitude also. It is the knowledge plus skills plus attitude that makes anybody to be a usable graduate or a worth educated person. So that artificial intelligence has become the order of the day. The better use of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence must be used intelligently, otherwise that leads to disasters. Therefore, commerce and management, business education is happening across the globe with a change, with a difference. That difference is because of the new trends happened, partly because of the globalization, partly because of the changing government policies, and presently because of the unanticipated, unexpected health trauma. That health trauma in the form of COVID-19 that has created a lot of changes in the way of looking at everything, including education. What is this new normal in business today? I have made a summary in 6 different points. The summary is that the new normal in business today is, at the first instance, there is a shift towards localization of everything. Everybody started looking at their own solutions, their own problems, and they tried to find out something within. Even a country like America first started looking at their own premises, their own people, problems of their own people. That may lead to several other political problems later on. That is not the issue. At present, everybody has moved towards localization. That localization gradually will lead to expansion. It will become global outlook. It will get global outlook later on. But present trend is localization of business. And the present day business is digitized and data centric. Digitization and data centric approach for everything has become the order of the day. The quality of the data that you have, the quantum of the data you have, and your ability to analyze that data determines the future of your business. So that digitization and data centric issues need to be taught to our young future managers. And one more thing, the world is experiencing a credit crunch, and cash has become the most expected priority for everybody. Credit sales, credit business was the order of the day hitherto. The present day business, people don't look for too long a period as the target, because COVID made everybody to become a little philosophical in their approach. What they want is immediate solution, immediate resource. So that cash has become the king of business today. And in their approach to decision making, variable and marginal cost based decisions have become popular. You can understand variable cost and marginal cost taken in the short run. That has become the order of the day. And supply chains have been supported by robotics. Robotic supply chain that are robust in reaching out to the customer developed. For all these things, students or practitioners need to be responsive. Hence, responsive and sustainable approach of managing the business has become the order of the day. These things have to be combined. These things are to be put into the form of a capsule in our study material, in our lectures for management students. Because ultimately, what the world appreciates is the winner. To be the winner, you must know the tricks of the game or the tricks of the war. The tricks of the game and the war taught through our courses, though it is a very short span of time for which they are going to be with us. During that time, what best we can do to them and make them critical thinkers and competent to use the knowledge that they have in whatever they do. Not only it gives meaning for the courses that we have taught. No doubt, there is potential commerce graduates. When I say commerce graduate, in list of graduates coming under this banner, there is a lot of opportunity for them, provided they go with new form. They go in the alter approach to that. In making them a better sellable product and an employable graduate, our role is of greater significance. We must many a time think beyond the boundaries to reach out to them with the latest. For that purpose, we need to be alert, and we must look at the things with open eyes and ears, grab the best and give it to our students. That makes both of us to be meaningful teachers and students. Okay, this is all about the title given to me. If you have any queries, you can interact. Okay.